Salutations and welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Phantasia. This is Edgar. In the previous installment we met the big bad of the game and got flung back in time about 100 years, got separated from our good friend Chester, and have met Lenios and the villagers of Baladin. Now we are free to roam around in this time period, but I suggest you talk to Lenio's wife before you do anything else, for an upgraded food sack. This one can hold 2000 units of food instead of 200, making it actually useful, and I will be using it later in this video. We have our itinerary all set out. We are going to recruit our next character and get his first ability, so this is going to be a rather long video. Get some popcorn and settle in, boys and girls. Our first stop is the weapons store, which you can find just across the bridge. You'll know it's the right place because there's a conveniently located Zweihander right outside. You can upgrade your gear here, because it makes a fuck of a lot of sense that technology is superior 100 years in the past, don't you know? If you want the strongest weapon, take the axe, but I will take the sharp saber because it's the more balanced of the two. And now I am going to take a moment to vendor all of my junk off screen. There we go, now we have a bit more gold to work with. Let's duck into our inventory and check out that saber we just got. It's the same shit as the knight saber but stronger. Pity its accuracy is kind of garbage. Don't forget, you cannot sell the knight saber, you're going to have to lug the fucker around for the remainder of the game. Once you are done shopping, walk in an L shape through the wall to reach the back of the store. It's worth your time to do this because if you talk to the young lad at the counter while back there, he will give you a combined art completely free of charge. Enjoy the freebie because usually you're going to have to pay substantial amounts of gold for them. This one is Mecha Blade, and will not see any use for bloody ages, but it's still nice to get it for free. Once you have it, head out to the village proper. You have a few options here, but I suggest that before anything, you head behind the food store to collect a pair of free sacks. An orange gummy and the remedy bottle are up for grabs back here. After that, head into the food store. My apologies, it's the item store. No matter. If you can swing the money, buy any items you'll need for your trek north. I myself will buy a bunch of orange gummies because they are ever useful. Nothing of any real note is sold in here. If you feel like it, you can head south into the forest for a couple of treasure chests, but we will need to go to the forest later, so we are going to skip it for the time being. We are instead going to head north, to the town of SCP-173, to meet Mr. Clark F. Lester. 100 years ain't shit, it's in the same damn spot it is in the future. You might remember it, it's the place our uncle went all Judas mode on us. So that means we are taking a trip through the ravine. Before we head in that general direction though, I strongly advise you to come to this dock for a very powerful accessory. There are quite a few treasure chests scattered around this dock. Most of them are common items, but as mentioned one is godlike. Prepare to hate the local fauna as they love to get in your bloody path. Goddamn seagulls and crabs. Get out of my fucking way, you crustacean piece of shit. Elixirs are pretty godly as well. They restore all of a character's HP and TP, and if you're not the kind of person to use them, you can sell them for a huge chunk of change. Just a spy lens down here. Now then, you may have noticed the item we collected called Mystical Rune. Mystical runes can be sold for a small fortune, but I wouldn't advise doing so, they're too bloody useful. It's an accessory that you want to put on any sort of spellcaster, as having it equipped will cut the time they need to cast spells in half. It's perfectly viable to use them in the end game as well. In fact, you would want to use them in conjunction with another accessory that halves the mana cost of all abilities, and that's a perfectly reasonable endgame accessory combo. Clarice has no use for the mystical rune, so I would urge you to put it on mint and leave it there for the remainder of the game. You will get more later, and can also buy them for the better part of 100,000 gold, but having one on our heal bot will make our life much easier. Anyway, let's take the short route this time. Even 100 years ago, bugbears are the most threatening thing in the ravine. That is to say, it's not a particularly scary place. Once you make your way back to the world map, you will be a stone's throw south of SCP-173 town. If you look to the northeast, you can see that the bridge is intact in this time period. We will be going there later, but for now let's head into Euclid. Well, heck, this place certainly looks a whole lot less developed 100 years in the past. No big deal, let's introduce ourselves to one of the locals. They're probably friendly. Oh my, I stand thoroughly corrected. Arses to you then, you cunt. The truth of the matter here is that this girl is involved in a sort of side quest. There is absolutely no reward for doing so, however, so I'm not going to bother, but let's just say the girl has good reason to be, how do you say, salty. Anyway, do not forget to duck behind this house for a free mixed gummy and a rune bottle. In this town we will be recruiting Clarice, but there are a couple of hidden items to be swiped. First, however, let's go pay the crazy cat lady a visit. You just keep doing what you're doing, darling. I think that's a bit too much pussy myself, but whatever. There is a food store here. Buy food for your sack if you can afford it and require it, because you're going to need it a bit later. Here is the armor store, and there is a well-hidden chest tucked away beside it. Grab it for an easy 1000 gold. Dear God, what is that ghastly racket? I can't say I appreciate this music. There's a kid here, maybe he's enjoying it. I guess he doesn't appreciate this particular flavor of music either. Shut up, you lot, you're violating the public silence ordinance. Anyway, this is the house of Clarice, and before we go in we are going to fuck around in the bushes outside. There's a nice item to be claimed. If you can make your way up here, you can collect a charm bottle. It can be used to get a 30% discount at stores. You can even use a rune bottle on the bitch to make it a lotus perfume for a 50% discount. Only good for one use, however. Alright, it's time to meet Clarice. Fucking smart-ass cunt. $100,000 gold. Better break out that charm bottle, don't you think? Okay, who am I kidding? Even if we rune bottled it into a lotus perfume, we still couldn't afford this brick. Clarice is going to take the talking stick for a bit here. That got his attention. The game is really trying to push this character as a greedy money-grubbing asshole, isn't it? Don't worry though, in comes Clarice's wife Miranda to the rescue. What a happy marriage. Easy there, lady, you're scaring my party. Oh, Clarice. So easy to manipulate. Reverse psychology, motherfuckers, works every time. Say hello to the salty speech bubble. Rather cute, isn't it? And now Clarice and Mint explain their story to Clarice. Despite being an adult and in a very clear position to call bullshit, Clarice is inclined to buy all that they have said and will promptly tell us about himself. Clarice has spent the better part of his life studying magic, but as a human he is unable to use it, as doing so requires elven blood and he hasn't a drop in his body. He has however discovered a way for humans to use a form of magic. Namely, the ability to summon. Clarice will be the party summoner, and will end up as the strongest character in the game as we progress. Unfortunately he starts with no summon abilities whatsoever, so until he has one to work with he is hereby relegated to book smacking duty. Funnily enough, despite being a spellcaster, Clarice is actually a fairly capable tank when you first get him, having a better armor class than Clarice, and most likely more health unless you spent some time overleveling. So let's have a look at him. I can already see that he's sitting pretty at 200 hit points more than Clarice, so you can see I wasn't fucking around when I said he was going to be our tank for a little bit. Might as well put him to work, otherwise he will stand at the back of the party with his thumb up his ass. This calls for some tinkering with the party formation. That's more like it. Clarice is hereby relegated to the front of the party until he can summon. I will particularly enjoy watching him beat the crap out of enemies with his book. You read it here first, Clarice is a fucking junkie. Let us depart. We will return to Clarice's home later in the game, but for now there is nothing for us in there. Let's head out of town. Our next destination is north. Clarice wants to go to the Long Valley, which is just north of the bridge, but before you go there it is mandatory that you visit the town to the north of it. This is Long Valley. We will return later. And welcome to Harmel Village. You must come here to be able to get anywhere in Long Valley, as you require 2 tools for the job. You can buy them from the supply store, the first store you encounter as you enter town from the south. You will need to buy 1 rope and 1 pickaxe. You will only need 1 of each. Now fuck you dickhead, I got what I wanted. Once you have a rope and a pickaxe, you can head into the Long Valley, but if you have some gold to spare, it might be worth your time to head north to the fair port city of Venetia, as you can buy a ludicrously strong weapon from there for 2,400 gold. The weapon in question is a spear, and it provides greater reach than the swords you are used to working with. Since Clarice is at the front of the party, having a spear will make fighting a whole lot less of an issue, so frankly, I don't mind if I do. Pro tip for you lot. Always bet on Book Smacker. I like how Clarice cracks his neck like a boss after he wins. Alright, this is as far north as we can go for the time being. Welcome to the fair port city of Venetia. Venetia is quite a bit larger than any towns we have seen, and to get around you're going to have to hitch a gondola right through the channel. There's a fair bit we can do here, but right now all we are after is that spear. Head to the northeast end of the town to find the gondola pilot, and talk to him. He will charge you 50 gold for a ride and will let you choose your destination. You obviously are going to want to go to the weapon store. So sit back and enjoy the short ride. Do bear in mind that the only way back from this store is to ride the gondola once again. Anyway, welcome to the weapon shop. There are quite a few powerful weapons you can purchase here, but the only one we are interested in is that lovely spear. The Clarice sure costs a pretty penny, but wait till you see the stats on this beast. If you have another 600 gold to spare, then go ahead and upgrade Mint's weapon to a gem rod while you are at it. Let's throw the gem rod on Mint. Now then, the Clarice stats. I will let them speak for themselves. No bitches, that stab is not a typo, this beast has stab in the triple digits. It also packs longer reach as previously mentioned, so Clarice is free to stand behind Clarice and poke shit to death. Now that all of our preparations are done, we are going to ride the gondola back to the north end and head out of Venetia the same way we came in. So let's recap. We upgraded Mint's weapon to help in a pinch, and we bought for Clarice what is essentially Chuck Norris for this point in the game. However, do remember that the weapon's stats alone do not represent the damage. Your attack stat will factor into it as well. What this means is you could have a sword capable of slicing the heavens in twain, but if your attack stat sucks a fat one, who knows? You might do 0 damage to some enemies. Just some food for thought, but of course having a stronger weapon is always a good thing. Right, time for us to head south. We will have to head through Harmel village to reach Long Valley. Hello there upgraded bugbears, fancy having a go at my new spear? This spear is terrific. Well now, how nimble. As enemies become stronger they also gain new abilities like that dive bomb looking thing the boggle just did. No matter, if the fuckwit wants to place himself between my party members that just makes him an easier kill. Let's head straight through Harmel to the east exit, nothing we need to do here since we already got a rope and a pickaxe. And now it's time for us to get acquainted with the Long Valley. This is the place Clark will receive his very first summon, but as well as a pickaxe and a rope I would strongly suggest you bring food, because if you don't have any, one section of this area is going to be hell for you. In other words, Clark requires bling bling for the boom boom and shit. First we are going to head around the small house here. There is a chest with a thief's mantle in it, and it is an accessory that allows you to flee more quickly from battle. It sounds like an item for cowards I know, but I suggest you throw it on. There is a specific enemy in Long Valley that you need to run the fuck away from as fast as you can, unless you want to be acquainted with the game over screen. This is Bart, and he can be considered the warden of these parts. Clark wants to buy a ring and contract with the spirits here, but it won't be that simple I am afraid. You see, there's a bit of a problem, and the problem is that the spirits in question are currently going apeshit. If Clark wants to contract with the spirits of air, he is going to have to calm their shit. Kind of hard to make a deal with someone that's bouncing off the walls, you know. We are going to need the opal ring from Bart for the contract. But money is not an issue here. Bart will give it freely so long as you keep an eye out for his daughter, who went up the mountain and has gone missing. He's correct. Arche is friendly. Perhaps a little too friendly if you catch my drift. We now have the opal ring. There are plenty of rings in this game, and each one is required to contract with a specific spirit. They also double as accessories for Clark, and the opal ring we just got boosts his defense by quite a lot. He's currently playing the role of tank, so that's absolutely perfect. You aren't required to have rings equipped on Clark to use his summon abilities, and only he is able to equip them, so no, you cannot stick the opal ring on Clarice's finger. Clark is the king of all the bling bling. It's time to brave the Long Valley. If you came here without a pickaxe, this is as far as you could have gotten. Physics hard at work, boys and girls. Smack a rock with a pickaxe, create an explosion. Logic. New enemy here. These are harpies, and they can be really bloody annoying with the way they float the fuck around. However, there is a skill Clarice will get soon that makes incredibly short work of them. Not that they are particularly tough in the first place. And Mint just learned Deep Mist, a status effect spell that will lower the attack of every enemy on the screen, when it bloody well manages to land. You can see some of the air spirits going apeshit right here. They will form wind barriers throughout the Long Valley, and stepping into such a barrier will result in you getting a rather powerful blowjob. Since the barriers cannot be crossed, in some cases we are going to be forced to fight the air spirits to gain progression access. Kind of a shame if you ask me, because I think they're such tiny adorable little things. Oh well, it's a necessary evil. Grab the blue ribbon from this chest, it's a helmet for a character we do not have in our party just yet. Alright air spirits, I hate to do this, but have at you. The sylphs don't have anything in the way of physical attacks, but they compensate with some elemental spells like lightning and storm, the latter of which will hit everybody on the screen. They also absorb one of Clarice's skills, but we haven't got at one yet, so no reason to worry for now. Well, so much for that. Now we actually have that skill. Lightning Bolt is expensive compared to his old skills, costing 8 mana to use. Clarice will charge at the enemy and leap over them, shooting a lightning bolt from the sky, somehow, that does not actually do physical damage. It does air element damage, which the sylphs can absorb. Still, it does double damage to the harpies that infest the area, so there's that. Before they shuffled off this mortal coil, the sylphs revealed why they are going apeshit. They are being poisoned by air from the magical realm called Shoki. Mint is the only party member who is unfamiliar with the stuff, so Booksmacker will explain its properties. It's basically gas. Humans can survive in it for a little bit, but magic-based beings, like the air spirits, get mind-fucked pretty severely from it. So in order to calm the air spirits, we will need to remove the Shoki from the equation. Do you remember I told you to bring food? The reason is that we will have to fuck around in the Shoki, and it will damage you as long as you are walking around in it. Having the food there to keep you healthy goes a long way. Anyway, let's go ahead and equip Lightning Bolt into one of our ranged slots. You can see here that it is not a physical attack. Clarice will get a few skills with elemental properties like Lightning Bolt, but for the most part his skills will be purely physical. Save your game here if it takes your fancy. Well, gee, Sherlock, did you figure that shit out all by yourself? Miranda would be so proud. You're all grown up now. Perfect. Let's demonstrate Lightning Bolt. Remember that the harpies take double damage from it, so cut the number in half and that's its actual damage. One of the nice things is the leap Clarice performs, as it can enable him to dodge some shit on his way in. Time to get a blowjob. There's no way to avoid damage from those tornadoes, so just deal with it. They don't hit very hard. If you want to go back the way you came, you'll need to run through a couple more, since there's no way you can run against the wind the sylphs are creating. If you make your way north, you will find a cave. Enter it. The path to the right of the cave leads to the summit, and we can do exactly fuck all up there until we fix this Shoki problem. More blowjobs for the blowjob god. Now that you're here, I hope you remembered to bring a rope, because if not you will be crying. The cave is infested with harpies, so you know the drill. Make good use of your Lightning Bolt skill to ruin their day. I am sure somebody wants to colonize this place, but I simply do not give a fuck about such tripe. I also don't give a fuck about those sylphs blocking access to the chest, because I can collect it after the Shoki is dealt with. Anyway, you need to use your rope here so you can climb down to the lower floor. You're going to need another rope further in the cave, but don't worry, using a rope back there will inexplicably not remove it from your inventory. Logic, in my Tales of Phantasia, perish the thought. Down in the lower level of the cave you will run into plenty of ghasts. Be reminded that they can cause poison with their melee attacks, so keep those antidotes ready to use on Booksmacker. And of course cross your fingers and hope the ghasts drop status healing items for you. Bust this wall down if you fancy a spy lens, but otherwise don't bother, it's a dead end. Funky stream though. It's nice that Dual Kick's third strike does appropriate damage for our weapon, but I am really looking forward to Clarice's next tech, because it's a flurry of stabs, perfect for the caress he is currently wielding. To the right is a dead end, and to the left is a rope we will have to climb. I assume Bart was fucking around up in this cave and that's why the rope is there. Speaking of Bart, there's no sign of his daughter Arche. Wonder where that pink-haired lass has ended up. Here's the rope. Fucking piss flaps. Fuck off, Harpy, ain't nobody got time for that shit. At least you were courteous enough to level Clarice up. Okay, we won't be back in this section of cave. Up the rope we go, everyone. climbing this rope brings us out behind the last group of sylphs that gave us a blowjob. We will have to fight them to kill their wind barrier and access the northern section of the cave. I still hate to do this, but you sylphs are standing between me and my goal, so have a be. Remember not to use your lightning bolt skill on the sylphs, they will simply absorb it and you will have wasted your mana. Tell you what, I certainly approve of the sylphs dropping rune bottles. It's like them telling us they love us even though we cut them down. How very bittersweet. Don't mind Clarice, he's just being the manliest motherfucker in the game. Anyway, the north section of cave is now accessible, but head outside first. There are a pair of treasure chests up for grabs out here. You can collect an amber cloak and a kite shield from them. Go ahead and toss the kite shield on Clarice. I would suggest you toss the amber cloak on Mint since Clarice joins you with one already equipped. However, I don't actually need this amber cloak as I bought one earlier off screen while selling all my crap. No matter, I can vendor this one later. Make your way back into the cave and head to the north section, fighting off all the stupid harpies as we go. If you have no food, I would advise you to get the hell out of the caves and come back when you have some, because we have reached the point where we are going to need some sustenance. Head up the stairs and check out the gas. So then, this is Shoki. Shoki will damage you as you walk through it, and that is where food comes in. I will explain how it works as I fill my food sack. If your party members are not at full HP while you are walking around, the game will check your food sack. If you have food in the sack, it will consume some of that food to heal your party members. Since we are about to walk through what amounts to a gas chamber, having food is necessary to keep us healthy unless you want to run Mint completely dry of mana and be fucked if something goes wrong in a fight. It's very much a case of better safe than sorry. The source of the Shoki is this pool. You will need to find a way to plug that bitch. There is a large boulder not far from here that will do nicely, and we don't even need a power bracelet to move that shit around. Your medicine bottles are very much appreciated. Now then, let's see about that boulder. Here's the fat bastard. It's a simple matter of dragging or pushing the boulder onto the pool to cut off the gas flow. However, this is only one section where the gas is present. There is another, much larger section, that has not one, but two pools that need to be plugged with boulders before the gas fucks off and leaves everything the hell alone. Got to hand it to Clarice, pushing a boulder around is strenuous enough, but here he is pushing one around through noxious fumes like a badass little fucking trooper. He has a rubbish name, but his spirit burns brightly, and for fuck's sake Clarice, books are for reading, not for smacking or shielding. You'd be the world's most interesting librarian. Clarice walks into a library and it's like an armory for him. But enough screwing around, let's seal this bitch. Now that we've plugged the pool with a boulder, the gas has dissipated. We have used approximately 1/3 of the food we came in with. I do hope the remaining food is enough for the larger gas section, but if not then I'll just tough that shit out I suppose. To get to the other gas section, follow this section of cave around. It will lead you to the other side of those sylphs that were guarding the treasure chest, and there is a hole where you can use a rope to climb down. The section is quite large and full of gas, and also has a bit of an ace up its sleeve. If you haven't figured out how to flee from a battle yet, I suggest you take a moment to learn the technique right now, because down here lurks an enemy who is going to kick the crap out of you if you try to fight it. If I encounter one, I will show you the kind of hurt those bastards can put on you. Other than those guys, the only enemy you will encounter down here are ghasts. I guess harpies aren't too fond of all the gas and crap. Much like how I am not too fond of being poisoned. It's like, come on, I am already having to wade through this Shoki bullshit, don't poison me as well bro. For those of you who have played Pokemon poison functions basically the same way here. For those of you who have not, being afflicted by poison will cause you periodic damage in battle, and will also damage you as you walk around. Even worse, a poisoned character does not receive any healing from the food in your sack, so get rid of that shit as soon as you can. On the bright side, the ghasts that you will frequently encounter down here will drop curative items for you. Mint has just picked up her next spell, a status effect called Delay, which doubles the time enemies require to perform their actions and spells. Unfortunately, it suffers the same problem as Deep Mist, in that its accuracy is so poor. It will improve as Mint gains levels, but for now, it's really just there to tease you. Fucking shit, damn, we are almost out of food. Oh well, we'd better knuckle up. Here's hoping we don't run into too many of those imbalanced as hell demon type enemies. The stealthy approach doesn't work. I am giving it back. Fucking cheapy ass birthday gift. Excellent, we have mastered Scion Bolt. Do you know what this means? It means that once we master Dual Kick, we will be able to perform Scion Kick, and I will finally be able to show you all the funky graphical effect that accompanies the dual arts. God damn, this boulder is being a cunt about this. Getting stuck on the stalagmites and shit. And don't forget, there are 2 boulders we have to move down here. What a pain in the bum. Fork the medicine bottles over, old chap. That's a good zombie. Alright, let us return to our retarded labor. The shit we do for Book Smacker. Let's plug this bitch. 1 down, 1 to go, and guess what, everybody? It's on the other side of the freaking cave, as inconveniently placed as possible. Of course it fucking is, it's the standard RPG formula. I'll probably master Dual Kick on my bloody way over there, provided I use orange gummies to recover my damn mana. Arsehole cave. Why can't I fit through that small gap? Making me take the long route and everything. Unless my math is off, that should master Dual Kick for us. Damn you, Clark, keeping us in suspense. Dual Kick has been mastered, and that nets us the ability to use our first combined art Scion Kick. We will of course have to go into the menu to set it as a skill. For the record, all dual arts are long-range skills because they combine a short range and a long-range art. This one is 9 man, even more expensive than Lightning Bolt. Is it worth the cost? I would say so, but I'll let you be the judge when I run into the next group of unfortunate ghasts. I do believe the next rock is due north. Alright fuckers, let's see you stand up to this. I didn't bloody think so. You may have noticed the blue silhouette on Clarice as he did that move. All dual arts have that fancy effect. It doesn't actually do anything other than look cool. Fun is over though, we need to get back to work because Clark is a spoiled prick. Seriously, the things I do for Book Smacker. All this just so he can have some boom boom to go with his bling bling. We still haven't seen Archie by the way, but I'd venture a guess that the pink-haired lass is not fucking about down here in the gas. We also haven't run into a demon yet, that's pretty damn fortunate. The talisman we just picked up is an accessory that raises all your resistances by 5%, but it's not particularly powerful and will be sold to a merchant in short order. On the bright side, we have located the boulder, and the pool is not too far from our current position, so fucking A for progress. Oh holy shit, Blade Storm already, pimping as hell. Blade Storm is another short-range technique, and you might be immediately put off by its prohibitive mana cost of 15. However, it performs about 10 strikes for that price, and if you can pin your target against the wall and use it, it's incredibly unfair. Not only that, but Clarice is currently equipped with a spear, making the mass stabbing nature of the move all the more effective. Now, let's plug this sucker. Oh god damn it. Whatever, perfect target for my new technique. Come here Squire, I've got something for you. Push him to the corner, Clark. Okay, The move does about 10 strikes and he died in 3. I know that's technically a waste of mana, but do you really think I give a fuck? I certainly don't give a fuck about the gas anymore. See you later, you stinking shit. Right, that's all the gas gone, and we are free to leave this section of cave if we wish. Before we do, however, I am curious as to what sort of divine intervention has prevented me from running afoul of a demon. Very unusual. Usually you run into one every third bloody encounter. Since I would be doing you all a major disservice by neglecting to show one of the ugly pricks, I think I am going to spend a little bit more time down here until we encounter one. After all, now that the gas is gone, it's not like having no food in my sack is an issue any longer. In fact, now that the gas is gone, the sylphs that were creating wind barriers are gone as well, and Clarice is free to put some boom boom in his bling bling once we are sent to the summit of this mountain. In the meantime, however, how do you say it on Convict Central? I know there's a damn quote for this shit. Ah yes. I must fight the demons. Not you ghasts, we've already killed plenty of you. Look at how sad he looked when we fled from the battle, the poor old chap, so distressed that we wouldn't put him out of his misery. Anyway, we are right near the entrance of this part of the cave. I will now run around until I find a bloody demon. My, that certainly went well, didn't it? As you can see, just that thing by itself thoroughly kicked the crap out of me, and I barely got away with meat intact. Clarice was not bloody joking when he said you should run when you see one. How much damage did I do to it anyway? I saw a whole lot of zeros. I think I hit it one time for like 37 damage. The point is, run away from those things, or enjoy being fucked up quick smart. Moving on though, you may notice that random encounters have come to a screeching halt. For some reason, getting rid of the gas stops the sylphs from fighting you, which is fine and logical, but where the hell did the Legion of Harpies fuck off to? It's never really explained. Feel free to draw your own conclusions. More importantly, the summit will now have an inhabitant. If you came up here prior to removing the Shoki, the summit would have been completely empty. Since we did away with the Shoki, there will be a sylph, and Clarice will contract with it so he can have some boom boom for his bling bling. The sylph will explain that magic is basically dying, and once it's gone, Clarice's contract won't matter, he won't be able to summon any spirits. Be kind of a shame for him really, since he spent most of his life figuring out how to do this shit in the first place. Regardless, the sylph will contract with him. The party also asks the sylph if they have seen Bart's daughter Arche, but apparently nobody has been up here in quite a while, so that would be a no. And now, Clarice will receive his very first summon. And it is done. Clarice now has some boom boom in his bling bling, and can actually use that mana pool of his. That being the case, He is no longer relegated to book-smacking duty, and is free to summon spirits as much as he bloody feels like. Since he has higher defense than Mint, I would suggest placing him at the back end of the party at this point, so you have a buffer of sorts to protect you should you be ambushed. We are now going to head down the mountain to deliver the bad news of his daughter to Bart. On our way, we can collect a chest that the sylphs were blocking. Speaking of sylphs, the sylph Clark conversed with has given us an element orb. This will allow us to speak to the spirit of life who resides in the big tree in the forest. Plot hole, how the hell did it talk to Clarice 100 years in the future when he had no such orb? Furthermore, how the hell did it talk to him in the first place if it was, you know, dead? You can't explain that. Alright, time to give Bart the news of Archie. Now that we have the element orb, our next destination is going to be the forest south of Belaton, but this video needs to be wrapped up before Tom skims me like a predator. This has been Edgar, thank you all for your patronage.